Hello and welcome all. Today in this video, we are going to deal with the Unit 1 in Teaching Aptitude of the NTA UGC NET syllabus. So, before we go in detail to the video, let's be familiar with what is teaching aptitude. Well, in simple terms, teaching can be defined as the process that facilitates learning. It is an activity that provides education. And aptitude is the natural ability of a person which is either inborn in them or they acquire by training. Putting it together, teaching aptitude is the ability of a person to teach someone, or it is the capacity of a person to provide education to the learners. So now let's move on to analyzing each of the subtopic which is mentioned in the UGC NET syllabus for the teaching aptitude. So the first subtopic is the concept of teaching. Well, technically, the process of teaching can be defined as the activity that imparts knowledge, experience, information, skill, understanding, and experience. It's a very systematic activity that aims at the development of the learner, that aims at the upliftment of the learner, and thereby the society is also developed. Now let's move on to the next subtopic, which is the objective of teaching. Well, you might be wondering what else would be the objective of teaching than to impart knowledge? Yes, of course, imparting knowledge is definitely an objective of teaching. But the most important and ultimate objective of teaching is to bring about desired behavioral change in the learners during the course of instruction, which means bringing about a change in the overall aspect of the learner, overall behavior of the learner, overall personality of the learner, so that he or she becomes a very better equipped person who can deal with any problem after the course of instruction. It was once asked in the UGC NET exam, and that was to choose the most appropriate meaning of teaching from the following options. And the answer was the modification of behavior. So now you know that the most important objective of teaching is none other than the modification or the change in the behavior of the learner. Now we are moving on to the next subtopic, which is the levels of teaching. So by levels of teaching, we mean the different phases or the different stages through which the teaching process proceeds. So the first level is the memory level. And to know more about what is happening in this level, let's go back to our pre-primary classes. Do you remember how we managed to learn our English alphabets, multiplication table, the nursery rhymes? Yes, we did the rote learning. So what is rote learning? Rote learning is a memorization technique which is based on repetition. You repeat something in your head and it is committed to your memory. That is rote learning for you. So we did the rote learning. So in the memory level of teaching, we are expected to do the rote learning. We are expected to mug up things and we are expected to learn by heart. So the next level is the understanding level. Understanding level is just the opposite of the memory level in principle. Here, the teacher explains each concept with the help of examples and illustrations and makes the learner understand what they are learning. Here, the learner is expected to think and understand what they are learning. So, thinking process is involved in here. Now we move on to the next topic, that is the characteristics of teaching. Let's discuss some of the major characteristics of teaching here. And the first one is, teaching is an art as well as science. So, teaching is an art. Why? Because it allows room for creativity. The teacher can be a very creative person in the classroom. Teacher can employ his or her creativity to make the learning process attractive, to make the learners attentive, and to make the learning process very effective. So, the teacher can be a very creative person. Although teaching is a planned and scripted activity, it is always the spontaneous presentations and improvisations that creates the wow effect in class. It is always these components that help the teacher to communicate better, to convey better. Now let's analyze the latter part of the statement. Teaching is science. Why teaching is science? Because it follows a systematic format. The teacher first collects the information, then analyzes it, then groups it according to its complexity or simplicity, then present it before the learners in a step-by-step manner which is suitable to the content. Don't you think this is quite a systematic procedure? Yes, that's why we say teaching is science. So the next important characteristic of teaching is that teaching is a continuous process. There is a saying that learning is a continuous process that starts in the womb and ends in the tomb. Yes, learning has started since the very first day we were formed in our mother's womb, and it continues till we reach our grave. Just like that, teaching is also a continuous process that happens throughout our lifetime, either through formal means or through informal means. Let's move on to the next subtopic, which is learner characteristics. Well, learner characteristics are certain key features or natures of the learner that influence how and what they learn. Well, the first characteristic is the academic characteristics. Academic characteristics include the prior knowledge of the learner, the educational level of the learner, the educational type of the learner, the academic background of the learner, etc. Now, prior knowledge is a very important feature that helps learning. Imagine we have a learner who is very thorough with the multiplication table. So, teaching him operations like multiplication and division will not be very tough for a teacher. It will be a lot easier. And on the other hand, we have a learner who is not so good with the multiplication table. And teaching him operations like division and multiplication would be absolutely pointless. This is because that particular learner lacks the prior knowledge, which is very essential for learning that current topic. So, the next characteristic is the social characteristic. Social characteristics include the social behavior, the moral values, the social commitment, the interpersonal relationships, etc. of the learners. Having good social skills is very important in the process of learning, because for the purpose of learning, we resort to social institutions like schools and colleges. Here, the behavior of the learner plays a very major role in the process of learning. The learner's behavior in the classroom, the learner's behavior with the teacher, the learner's behavior with their peers plays a very major role in the process of learning. The next important learner characteristic is the emotional characteristic. Emotional characteristics include the anxiety level, the inhibitions, the concern about self-image, self-consciousness, etc. of the learner. This is also very important because the components that we have just mentioned before need to be in the correct ratio for the learning process to be effective. In this video, we have discussed the concept of teaching, the objective of teaching, the different levels of teaching, and after that, we have discussed the important characteristics of learning and then the learner characteristics. Hope you like the video and thanks for watching.